leggings on, rain jacket on, and checking I have all my stuff, including my stinky socks. Lately, I have annoyingly had several moments where after leaving the house, I rack my brains trying to remember if I locked the door. And I actually had the same thought today, leaving for the skating rink, until I remembered I got myself locking the door on video. So take that, anxiety. And we're off. But actually, it's been a little hard to find motivation to go skating sometimes, even though I tell myself that during this period of being laid off and looking for my next thing, going skating is a way to keep myself in a routine, stay active, and, also to have fun. I have to remind myself of that. And it's because I'm working towards passing my gold skating skills test in the US figure skating testing ladder. It was previously known as the senior moves in the field. I failed it twice within the past, I think 5-6 months, and arguably I was a little too ambitious and trying to test it too soon, so that's probably my first failure. But then the second attempt, I was close and I just choked on a particular move that I never really choked on before in practice. So it's discouraging sometimes to think of that, and therefore deflates my motivation. But I reinflate it by telling myself, you're so close to finishing this ladder, you gotta go do it. Here are my judges' marks from my last attempt. You need at least 2 judges to pass, and as you can see, I got none of them. I don't want to get overly technical, but I've also revised my goal to take what's known as the adult 21 plus track of my gold skating skills moves test. Before I was testing on the standard track, which means they grade a little more strictly, and typically people take that track when they're much younger. I just came to terms with the fact that yes, I am an adult now, and yes, I am 21 plus, and I had a long break in skating before I came back to try and finish this skating skills testing ladder. So you could say I finally cast aside my pride a little bit, but I think it's more just me being realistic, finding a way to accomplish my goal within the constraints and parameters I have. So hopefully this attempt testing on the adult track will lead to a better positive passing result. Okay, I think I just confused maybe by adding that technical detail and clarification, but to clarify, the adult track of this test has the same content, same moves, same patterns across the ice, but they, I think, will be a little more forgiving if I don't have as much power and speed or flexibility as, like, I don't know, a 14-year-old attempting the test on the standard track. I also spoke with my coach about this plan that we both feel good about, and I think the other benefit is that if I decided to go back and take my gold skating skills test, formerly known as senior moves in the field, on the standard track, I can do that even after I passed it on the adult track. So, I'll double check the rule book, but it sounds reasonable and logical. And so, yeah, refinding that motivation. The book is Good Material by Dolly Alderton. So I thought this was going to be a normal looking recording. I didn't do the longest, most comprehensive warm up, but this is just hilarious. I'm so glad I got it on video. So from a distance, it looks like my skates are pretty clean and unblemished, but if you're holding them in your hands up close, you can see that there's definitely a lot of wear on the leather. I've accidentally kicked it in some spots. Some spots it's just scuffed, which is pretty normal course of business. And then the tongue of my skate is definitely less padded than before, or at least when it was out of the box. But yeah, I've been very comfortable in these, and I know they'll last me through my test for sure, and at least a couple more years if I decide to keep, skating for fun. I do hope to keep these skates for a long time. I'm at an age where I don't think I'll need to get new skates again in the future. One, because I just don't skate enough, and two, because these are expensive. That's just kind of the nature of the sport, but it's also for the level of, you know, technology and craftsmanship that go into skates. When I'm lacing up my skates, I'm trying to give myself a bit of positive self-talk, tell myself that the practice session, will be good, productive. I don't try to put pressure on myself, but I do try to go in with, a mindset that welcomes success. Okay, maybe that is pressuring myself. But it is a time that I try to use to lock in and really get focused so that I can have a productive session and remember what I need to work on. I was lucky enough to skate a pretty empty public session today. Public session just means it's not dedicated for hockey, figure skating, or anything. You can buy a ticket and even rent skates. So when I first get on, I'm generally just trying to get a feel for the ice, a feel for the nooks and crannies of my body, doing some basic exercises, going deep into my knees and ankles from 2 feet to 1 foot, as you can see here, and really trying to hold my edges. I confess when I was younger, I just, wanted to do jumps and spins like probably most kids, but I have realized that basic skills and technique cannot be neglected because they will bite you in the butt later if you don't have strong foundations. That also might be why it's taken me so long to pass my test. But here I am trying a little bit from my test patterns. These are called spirals. If you've ever watched Michelle Kwan skating, where her leg is held up really high behind her, this is that move, except obviously not done as well. Here I'm going into warming up another pattern for my test. These are called the double 3 turns, going into rocker and then another rocker. Rocker is just a different type of turn. Looking for power and flow here, as well as making it across the ice. These always tend to feel a little more rusty and scary for me, so I do a little bit of exercises in isolation on the side, and it helps me out a little bit. And as always, you want to try and do a nice checkout. And boop, someone touched my phone. And then I move into my lesson with my coach. Here I am kind of falling out of a turn, unfortunately, and so going to her for corrections. But I try to shake it off and, know that I have another attempt in me, and we will fix the problem. A lot of the times, okay, all of the time, skating is a pretty mental game for me. I'm pretty healthy and I could physically probably do the moves and push myself to the max, but I get skittish, and when I get skittish, my form breaks down. So my coach and I have been, really getting down into the technique and placement of everything. Sometimes it clicks during the lesson, sometimes it doesn't, but that's what practice is for. And with that, ta-ta! Had a good lesson. My hair looks a little crazy, and hope I can keep up this rate of maintenance / improvement until my next test, hopefully in May. A lot of hoping, but yeah.